Hello, everybody, and thank you for joining the Becoming Unshakable podcast, where I really want to help you focus on the ways that you can become unshakable in your own shoes without waiting for permission for someone else to do it, particularly thinking about this crazy, crazy world we're in and understanding what the formula is or the sweet spot is specifically for you. So, on this show, it's you and I want to talk to you about this idea of leaving our past behind us for the benefit of the future. And I want to break or bust some myths. So let me start off with this. I don't know if you're like me. I love the fall. I love the fall because I love the changing of the leaves. I like the falling of the leaves and walking over them. I'm a big walker, walking over them and hearing them crunch and crumble. And I know that a lot of people want to go ahead and sweep those leaves away and have no remnants that the leaves were ever on the trees, but I love them for exactly what they're there for. I think they're a reminder of the season, that they bring back moments of our childhood that are the positive things, but just again, also just bring us back to the way things were. Fall is my favorite season. Those leaves are a huge part of it. So there's people who like dust them away and go ahead and get I forgot what that vacuum is that extracts them out. And again, there are no leaves in sight. But me, I like to see them. I like to walk over them. And that is because they remind me of change, of what was, of progressing to that next season where things, obviously, there's a lot of things are dead when we get to winter. And then we go into spring where things flourish. And I think of these seasons as our own seasons of life. And I do think that when we look at becoming unshakable, that I don't think we need to leave our past behind, or that we should ignore our past, or that we should never look at our mistakes or our failures or whatever our life was like before. Because I believe that it's in our past that we can recognize what we've been through. We can recognize what we've gone through. We can recognize what we bounced back from. We can recognize our strengths. We can recognize so many things when we look back, when we look at the past, when we see the leaves that die, that fall, that change colors, and then what comes next. But we get so much more inspiration when we look at the thing from the past. Because if we don't, if we are like the people who believe our past does not define us, I 100% disagree. I think that my past and every adversity that I overcame, everything, every wall that I had to hit, reinforced a sense of confidence, purpose, worthiness inside of me. And I understood I could overcome and scale any wall that was put in front of me. But I would not have understood that if I didn't take the time, and I don't take the time here and there every year, maybe even every month, to look back at the thing that I was able to overcome, how much I was able to get through, how I was able to become the new person I am, flourishing person, like, for example, that spring brings. So I think that when we are trying to figure out how our past and what role our pasts can play, I think that they propel us to a new and better version of ourselves. They help us understand how resilient we are. They give us hope for who we are, what we can become. They remind us of who we are, and even the leaves of our own life, how they may have fallen through some of our mistakes and the walls that we hit and the times that we failed and when we didn't get everything just right. It's in those moments of peeking back at the past and saying, wow, I can see how I show up in different contexts. I can see what my possibilities are, what they were after my mistakes, after my failures, after the wall that I hit, all of the things. So an example for me would be, as I look back at my childhood, where there was drug addiction in my home, there was racism in my own family and narrow mindedness, I worked really hard to say, okay, I want to be the exact opposite of that. Or being in a household where the income was not very high at all. But then to look back and say, wow, but I made it through that. And I was able to eat and I wasn't ever homeless. And my family took care. And so I can take care and having much more than maybe my family had. So again, I have to look back sometimes to say, Heather, what are you made of? What are your possibilities? I don't want to use my past to limit me. That's not a good thing to say, well, my parents only have this, so I only can have this, or my life was like this back then, and that's all I can do. But I absolutely think I should use it as guidepost, as mostly a reminder of what my life looked like and what the possibilities for the future can be, irrespective of what that looked like. But also, if we look back when we were 3 years old, some things we remember, 10 years old, things we can remember, 15, 18, 20, and now I'm in my 50s. And I look back at all the different milestones that I achieved. If I didn't look back, sometimes I wouldn't get my inspiration. Yes, my inspiration does exist in the future or on the people I look at now who are very inspiring, doing great things. And I might be in this group where they inspire me. Yes. However, my groundedness as an unshakable leader comes from the things from the past that hurt me, that shook me, that made me hit the wall and even doubt my ability to overcome. So, that lesson for you today is this: do not be afraid to look at the leaves that are falling from your tree. Do not be afraid to walk over the crunchiness of the past, right? And to look at what is possible for your future, for you as an individual, for you as a leader, for you as a member of a team, for you as a leader of a person of your home, for you as a leader of a person in your workplace. Know that those leaves that are dropping are just like little symbols of all the strength that you put forward, all the grit that's inside of you, all the effort that's there. Like I said, the past are the signs of what we overcame. The future is still so bright, and I think it's a yes and approach that we need to be looking at what happened before and how we were able to overcome. And maybe there's some evidence of what's possible and what we can do for the future. Maybe there's some obstacle that will come in our way that we'll need to use our past to inform us of what those steps are. So I'd like for you to answer this question for you. And I'd love for you to send me an email at heather@heatheryounger.com. Let me know if this gives you any reflective points to say, what were some of the milestones, the obstacles, the things that you maybe thought were gonna take you out in your past that actually informed your next steps and maybe even informed what you do now? What maybe there was something you just recently overcame, and the milestones, the obstacles, the things that were in the past actually helped set up your very successful next step. I would love to hear from you and also think about how might you use some lessons from your past for something that you're facing right now? Can you go back and see some of the leaves, the crunchiness that you walked over? And can you see how that can help you through the very next thing you're facing right now? I really hope this is helpful. It is helpful for me because I do reflect so much on who I am as a person, why I was put on this planet. And so much of that story is based upon the things that I had to overcome to get to right where I'm at today. So thank you for joining this short episode on the Becoming Unshakable podcast. I'd love to hear from you. And you'll see some more solo shows, but also some more guest episodes coming up too. Take care, everybody. Bye.